I have the opportunity this evening to introduce probably some of the six finest magicians. I almost said musicians. Six finest magicians here in the Dayton area. And but don't fool yourselves. They don't just perform here. They've been performing all over the place. And I do know you guys are probably thinking to yourselves right now, why isn't that guy up there, that handsome, debonair, handsome, did I say that? Handsome guy? Distinguished, I think is what my wife calls it. Distinguished. Why isn't he doing any magic? Why is he just the MC? Well, it's because I'm Mike, and I'm the Dayton Magic Club president, and they always tell you that if you can't do the work, you just end up becoming the president of it instead. So I'm going to do something, but the reality comes down to this, guys. I started out doing magic when I was a kid. And it just turned out that nothing really seemed to ever work out well. You guys ever done that where things just don't work out? I'm going to try to show you something. I went out a while back when I was a kid and tried to buy some magic for the first time, and it didn't work out. And so I thought, now I'm only 40 right now, but why'd you laugh? That was mean. That was mean. I went out to and I bought a deck of cards, and you would think you get a deck of cards. I'm going to play cards with my friends. They were all blank, front and back. So things just don't go right for me. Where's our football players at right now? Yeah. So football players. I was kind of scanning around looking for numbers and things like that. And here's what I found out from the football players as I was doing this. Tell me if you believe this or not. I can take any card and I can put it in any location in the deck very quickly, any spot. Would that be amazing if I could do that? Yeah, I think so. So let me look out there. Number 12. I'll take number 12. What's your name, sir? I say one more time. Kaysen. So check this out, Kaysen. The number 12. Here I go. Yeah, that'll work. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, the one lone card. What do you say? Oh, that's got to be better than that. Come on, man. Oh. You guys are, I figured you guys are non-believers here. That's what the problem is. You guys are non-believers. So I'm going to pick any other number. Somebody give me a number.
23.
What? 23? 23. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it. Hold on a second. Yeah, okay, 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hold on. Go ahead. 21, 22, and 23. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Now, some of you guys are probably trying to figure out who is this number 23 guy coming back there. And some of you guys probably know him as a teacher. We probably call him Mr. Pierce. Some of you guys probably know him as the football coach. You probably call him Coach Pierce. We come to know him by something different. So if you would, give a big round of applause as we welcome the Incredible Brett. Come on out. So I might admit, I'm a little here. What was that? I tried to do magic when I was a kid. As a matter of fact, some of you guys, anyone ever get a magic kit when they were a kid? A couple of you? Did that stuff ever work? Mine never worked either. So I'm going to show you some of the things that came in my very first magic kit. Here's one of the first ones. Anyone know what this thing is? Now, remember, I'm a little old. So I got this kit it was in 1972 when I got this kit. That would have put me at about 7 years old. So I see, young lady. You think you know what that is? Not sure. It's called it's called a cigarette guillotine. And I don't know why my parents were trying to get me to smoke when I was 7, but I'm not quite sure. But the concept so I couldn't bring a cigarette out of here. So the cigarette guillotine, if I just took something in here, supposedly if I shut it down, it would go right through. See, so it did work when it was again. This is an old piece of machinery. So one more time, I'll try one more time. So it does work. And so of course, like every kid, what do you think I'm going to try to do? I'm going to try to put my finger. Absolutely, my first thought is I'm going to take it. I'm going to put my finger right in there, and right. See, it didn't work. That stuff didn't work. Never mind. Okay, let's try something different. I didn't. Another one that came. I got this crazy thing here. It had 8 holes. It's a container's got 8 holes in it, and it came with a coin with no holes in it. Of course, and I thought if I had put the coin in and lined everything up, I could put 8 nails through the coin. If I could do that, I could make the metal penetrate the metal, right? Because this is science. Brett would be proud of me right now. Check this out. So there's one. If I put that nail through, you can count with me. There's 2. Hold on, metal through metal sometimes. There it is, okay? And the 8th one. 8 pieces of metal right through the coin, right? That's what you would think. But let me take those nails out of there, and you'll find out that all I end up with is a coin with no holes in it. Yeah, I know it doesn't work. I don't believe in it either. It didn't work for me. And so you're getting where I'm coming from now, right? You're starting to figure this thing out? Things just don't work for me. I got this box. It's supposed to produce cool things. Every time I open it, there's nothing in it. It told me if I tap it 3 times, I'd get something. There's still nothing in it. And then they told me I had to get, you know what I'm missing? I'm a magician. What am I missing? I'm missing the magic wand. So if I get the old magic wand, I tap it 3 times, and all of a sudden, ba-bam, something's in it. Yeah, right? This one worked. It says, Mike, hurry up and get off the stage. Wait a second. Our next performer, all the way from Dayton, Ohio, he teaches radio broadcasting in his normal job, which is kind of good because you'll see here in a moment. He's got a great face for radio. That'll come to you. Take you back to like yesteryear, if you will. Think back for a second. Before the days of streaming videos or streaming audio, what did we have before that? VHS. We had some VHS, absolutely. Think about this for a second. Before streaming, we had, I'm going to take you back before MP3s and all that kind of digital stuff. We had VHS tapes. We had cassette tapes. We had 8-track tapes. Am I going back far enough for you now? We had reel-to-reel tapes. And we also had these little beauties here. You guys remember these things? They were records, and these ones, matter of fact, they came in a few different. They were a little bit unique. First of all, when you got one of these records, they were typically black sides. And how many songs were on one of these records? Anyone remember? Well, one on each side, right? And like I said, if you had a black on both sides record, and I put it in there, and if you left it out, they came with a colored jacket. And I had a second one of those. And it was very similar to the first. It's a black and a black record. And of course, by the way, anyone know what speed these things ran at, this one here? This was 45, and if I wanted to go a little bit faster, what was the next one? Faster. 78, right? 78, and then of course, we had the big record that had we called it an album, right? An album. And anyone remember the speed of that? 33 and a third, absolutely. So 33 and a third, and you know what? They were black as well. But the problem is you left these out, and I was a kid, and I would leave it out. And of course, any kids, guys, you ever leave your stuff out? I leave my stuff out too. And I had these black records, they were floating everywhere, and they were out all these jackets. And then I figured it out. If I could change the color of the record to match the jacket, wouldn't that be easier to kind of put it away? And so I got some markers. But these aren't just regular old markers. What kind of markers must these be? Oh, come on. What kind of show are you at? It's a magic marker. You get these magic markers. So if I take a magic marker, I think I'm losing my comms here. If I take a magic marker and I just kind of rub them across the top, it would make it a little bit easier to actually find these records. Because the case of, in this here, if I put a green magic marker on my record, right? And of course, you guys did you miss it? This almost feels like Tommy, right? He's going, what color is it? Yeah, no, I'm not trying to fool you. And of course, this one must be, you'd think it must be red on both sides. And of course, if I put it in red, it must also go back out red. Now the problem is my magic markers, when I read them, they said they are dry right, which means they are not permanent markers. And now I put them back, and now I've got this other problem going on again. My once black turned to green records quickly turn back to black. And of course, that means that my red records, my black turned red, turn black, turn red, must be back to black once again. And ladies, that's okay, you can applause that one. That'll work. Dude, I'm shameless. I'll ask straight out. You guys think somebody's proud up here or something like that. I brought this piece up because I wanted to take you back to yesteryear, because back when I was a kid, because our next performer is our youngest performer in the Dayton Magic Club. I think he got his first magic kit kind of like me when he was younger. He got it I think for Christmas when he's like 11 years old, and he's been performing at festivals, talent shows, schools, things of that, birthday parties ever since. You might find his magic kind of cutting edge, maybe a little bizarre at times. Sometimes even say it's a little bit scary. But I think no matter what, you'll find it a little bit entertaining. And if you will, just sit back. If you would, give a big round of applause for Nick Blade. My name is Nicholas Riggs, our youngest performer at Ring 5. And I'm going to continue to just take us down that memory lane, if you will, as our guys are setting up behind me. You might have seen something like this before. Let me see if anyone's ever, I'll pull up out of my box of tricks here. How about these things here? Anyone remember these things? I mean, it's a long time ago, right? And this is the way that they showed up in a box. They showed up all solved like that. That's called solved. And I thought, this must be really easy. And of course, the first thing I did was I started moving things around on it. No doubt about it, as I just moved it. And so after I moved it around just a little bit, I gave it to my dad. And you know what he did? He moved it some more. And then I gave it to my mom, and guess what she did? She moved it a little bit more. And of course, that leaves me back in a spot to where now I got to figure out how to put this thing back together. And I couldn't. And I did some reading. And this was before the days of Google, so there's no Google back then. You couldn't do that. But there's this rumor that there's this place called Whole Foods, which is not true back then, but it's the best bag I could find on short notice, from Whole Foods. And if you can just find any bag, it can solve the cube for you. For instance, I'm going to take it nice and slow as I go into the bag itself. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to pull out a cube. Ta-da! Huh? And I know what you're thinking. I must have a second cube, and you're absolutely right. It's solved as well. Just in case I got it wrong the first time. That might. Our next performer, I thought I was the oldest, but I'm not. We got a next performer. He's been performing for 60 years. He's been practicing for over 60 years. I'm hoping he's figured it out by now. I'm not sure yet. But as a matter of fact, last week, he performed for 4 different presidents last week. He was at Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm talking about? That'll come to you in a little bit. So our next performer, straight from Dayton, the Dayton Magic Club. His name is Ron Frank. So let me ask, is everyone enjoying the show so far? Give applause if you're enjoying it. Love it. So we've had 4 tremendous magicians, and I thought, let me ask you guys, when you think about magic and a magic show, what kind of things pop into your mind when you think you're going to see at a magic show? A rabbit. That's what me too, a rabbit. And we didn't have one. I don't have a rabbit to pull out of a hat, but I do have this cool box. And before the show, I stuffed a rabbit in here. You guys ready to see it? I got to tap it 3 times. Here it is. Ba-da. No? Man, I know that's just wrong. I shouldn't do that to you guys. That's the animal rights folks didn't let me do this. They wouldn't let me put a rabbit in here. So what I did do, though, is let me tap it 3 more times, and I'll come up here, and we'll see what happens when I go to the top. And we do indeed have a rabbit. But to keep everybody content, we don't want anyone to know we had rabbit stuffed in the box, so we'll tap it 1 more time, and we'll make that rabbit disappear 1 more time. All right. That's my way of introducing our next performer. He's been pulling rabbits out of a hat since about 1980, I think, is when he started performing magic. You'll probably see him coast to coast. He's got kind of a very energetic style of magic. So if you will, sit back, relax, and give a great big hand for Magic Dave Davis. 1 more time for Magic Dave. Give it up. So it's come to time for our last performer. Now, we're extremely fortunate to find this guy here. Because oftentimes, once again, he's one of those guys that I think he got a start from a magic kit that he got from his parents for Christmas. Sound familiar? He started out that way, but now it's very difficult to find him in town because he's normally been anywhere from the local venues from coast to coast, but also you'll probably find him out. We got him from coming off a Caribbean cruise right now, so that's where he's been performing here recently. So without further ado, let me introduce, and if you would, give a great big round of applause for Matt Stanley. Got all the performers up front, please. And while they're making their way to the front, let me extend our gratitude and our thank you to you all for showing up. Let's see if I can get everybody up here. So I thank you guys for showing up. We are just so grateful to Coach Pierce, Incredibrett, for having Ring 5 come out here and spend our time with you. It's been absolutely my pleasure. I'm Mike, and let me get a big round of applause for Incredibrett. Mr. Tommy Collins. Somewhere back there is Nick Blade. Come on, Nick. Mr. Ron Frank, the amazing Mr. Magic. Mr. Dave Davis. And finally, once again, Mr. Matt Stanley. Where are you at, my friend? I'm Mike Bear for Ring 5 Magic. You guys have a great evening. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate you.